Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I always publish on Rumble and on Patreon, Twitter, all that stuff. So let's get started. Got a few interesting things here. 3D reveals or unveils the 4070, 4060 GPUs with like hidden power connectors. Very interesting how they went about it. Because they are like low power GPUs, so they don't need a lot of power, and the fact that the cable is concealed in this way doesn't concern me at all. How they managed to do this, because the fin stack and the heat pipes here will never go in huge temperatures to the fact that it might melt the cable. It will be more worrisome if it was like a 4090 or something like that, but I think it's a good way to go about it. To hide the cables and avoid them to bend or on the plug there. It stays hidden. Then you put this back plate. I think the connector stays around here, so I think it's a decent option here, even for other GPUs, even like AMD to put the cables or here. But this limits the with kind of cases you can manage to put the GPUs. But turned to the back of the case, I think it's not a bad option. Not only in terms of cleanliness, but the fact that sometimes if you have a smaller case, the depth of the GPU and then the connectors going out, and the fact that these new GPUs are way thicker, I think it's a good option. Even though this is like smaller GPUs, I think it's a good and interesting choice of going about it. I think they mainly do this to hide the cable or try to hide the cable, but in terms of practicality, I think it's okay, because usually you only connect the GPU once and then install it, and that's it. But yeah, it seems interesting, just to let you know. Also, now Intel is going to enter the game of the lower end GPUs by lowering the prices as hell. In China, the A77, the 8GB version, it's at the same price at the 7600, and it doesn't kind of trade blows, but in overall it's a better performance. I think around, like from the graphs here, around 5 to 10% in the general terms, and they still the Intel still has the EV one, so in that regard the AMD doesn't have like an upper hand. Even like 1440p plays decent in some games. This is in Chinese or Mandarin, but yeah, even like Atomic Heart, Witcher 3, you get decent gameplay here. And of course the 16GB would be better, but it's a little bit more expensive than the 8GB version. I think it's good to see these kind of things, the competition coming up, especially from Intel, because I think it's a good alternative. Of course the first launch was very, very poor, especially with the driver stuff and like the older games which run with older APIs like DirectX 9, 10. It is very good still in DirectX 11 and 12 APIs, and improve a lot on older games in terms of performance and how to deal with those APIs. I think it's a good alternative now. I think we'll start to see the price dropping all over the place, because again, it seems a trend that first they lowered or try to compete more in terms of GPU market on China, and then it will start trickling down little by little on other markets. I think usually it's around like 1 month you can start seeing some of this trickling down happening. But yeah, it's good news that we have alternatives and good alternatives to like. They consider, I don't know why they consider this like the middle range. I've been seeing a lot in a lot of articles that consider the 7600 and even the 4060 Ti mid-range. It's not, it's entry-level performance for 1080p, mainly because of how they perform, and also because of the fact that they have like lowered VRAM capacities and memory buses and everything. But yeah, it's good to see. And I hope it will trickle down as soon as possible to other markets. We've been seeing a lot because of the prices of GPUs of the 16 gigabytes is way more expensive and everything. and I've been seeing that it is not, because this is not this is the GDDR6, not the X version. But all these like entry level, which is the main issue that a lot of people have with the fact that they have lower memory capacity, you can see that an extra 8 gigabytes at least now costs around 27 bucks. So you can put it like 40 bucks on the final price. I don't know, in terms of manufacturing costs and bill of materials and everything. I think around 40 to maximum like 50 bucks extra. I think they can eat the cost of $27 for them to put a more decent price, especially if you're trying to put $400 for a GPU, an entry level, like I speak in the previous article. But even then, this kind of prices here, it's on what they call the spot price market, which is like if you want to buy it at the moment, it's like it doesn't take into account like contract suppliers and everything, which are cheaper, of course. But the fact that in kind of emergency, these manufacturers, they need extra GDDR6 stuff, they just go to this called spot market and can buy it at this price, give or take. And you can see since the February of last year, it's been luring down here. This is like 8 gigabyte. It's kind of confusing because they go about it in different ways. So they call it 8 gigabytes the GDDR6 chip, which is like 1 gigabyte, costs around $13. But then you see here 8 gig. I don't know what they are referring here. It would be easier if they refer 8 gigabytes as, I don't know, as it is. But yeah, this is what he got. It's cheap to equip this. We don't need like 16 gigabytes on, like, for example, a 7600. 12 gigabytes is the bare minimum with increased memory bus, and even with their performance on the Navis and ADAS and everything. Usually what's limiting at the moment, it's memory bus. It's the memory stuff. It's memory bus and memory and VRAM quantity. And with this, I think they can manage to do with little cost in bill of materials to put a little bit extra VRAM. I don't think it's that big of a deal, especially if they have not bigger, but better deals than this spot price. So it's even cheaper than the 27 bucks per 8 gigabytes of memory, which is, I think. Okay, wait a minute. I think the 1 gigabyte that they talk about here, it's cheap. It's like 8 gigabytes. I don't know if this is wrong, because if 8 gigabytes cost 27, we have to multiply this by 8, this price, to get the 8 gigabyte spot price. I think something is amiss here on this article here. But yeah, it's the thing that everybody, even Moore's Law, it's dead on the podcast. They said they give around this kind of price, around 27. I think at the time it was 25 bucks, give or take, to just put a little bit extra memory. And of course, Nvidia trying to compensate the situation, the 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte variant, which has the same memory bus, which it might as well don't do it. But yeah, it's another rant for another day. We have been seeing also regarding GPUs, Gigabyte 30 series especially, and some 40 series PCBs cracking, especially in this notch where the thing like locks on the GPU in the motherboard. I saw this Louis Rossmann video when they went about huge amounts of GPUs with this kind of cracks. I don't know how they design this kind of PCBs, in which you have this little thing here. You have traces going through the board, because the PCBs are layered, so he has like traces of information and energy going through the inside of this PCB, and of course the cracks happen and the GPUs basically are dead. And then to try to fix it, you have to go around and doing like I don't know, trying to see where the the traces are, and then soldering with copper wires to try to figure out and fix this kind of GPUs. I also have here J2 Sense talking about this, but yeah, this is not good because the company itself is rejecting the RMA claims, and this is not like one or two cases. If it was like one or two cases in a while, we can understand why they are not doing RMAs, but this seems like, especially on the 40 series, I think 3070s, the 40s series, I don't remember seeing any kind of specific ones, but it's not good. The company should stay behind on their products and just, I don't know, because it seems flimsy, especially on the J2 Sense. He tried to go about it, and okay, this is not, it's anecdotal evidence, but he tried to see if there is like a difference on the bending and how the construction seem more sturdy or not. And we can see that he had like one 4090 Gigabyte and I don't know, an Asus. I don't know if it also was a 4090, but it was like an Asus board, and the Asus PCB, it's thinner than the Gigabyte and it's more sturdier than the Gigabyte one, which is very weird. I don't know what kind of materials they are using. Usually it's fiberglass and copper wires basically on the layers of the PCB, from what I understood. Now the quality of the maybe there is like some defect on the production of the materials they are using to build the PCBs for the GPUs. Yeah, this is not good. I for sure will avoid Gigabyte as much as I can. They had like some issues before with other stuff. I think the PSUs, I think the power supplies, they had like one issue. I'm not sure. The only thing that I seem to have they doing manufacturing correctly, it's their monitors, especially the 4K ones, the M28U, the M32U, and also the 1440p ones, the M27QP or something like that. It's one of their best monitors. They are pretty decent. They don't just blow up or something like that. Seem pretty decent, but yeah, kind of the GPU stuff and the other stuff, they are not seem to be in good hands in manufacturing this stuff. I will leave a link on the description to both the articles. It has like Louis Rossmann video attached to it, and the link to the video for J2 Sense, so you have a better idea what's happening at the moment with this GPU crisis. This thing is only sad news around the DIY market. But yeah, let's go for games. At least I think we have some pretty decent ones, pretty decent news. There was Assassin's Creed Mirage, like developer diary kind of thing, where they go about it like getting back to a return to the roots thing. We kind of have the confirmation that it's basically the same version of engine of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I don't know if this is a good or bad news, but at least it's kind of recent because it was the last Assassin's Creed game launched, and I think they are kind of taking inspiration and building the game around a lot of the early Assassin's Creed games, the ones that made the franchise what it is, which is Assassin's Creed 1 and the Ezio trilogy, focusing more on stealth, assassinations, and all of those mechanics and the parkour stuff. Because we didn't see a lot of parkour, I think, on the Odyssey and Valhalla. We had a lot of open fields, so open fields doesn't allow you to do a lot of parkour. But yeah, it seems that they are seemingly on a good path. Only when the game launches we have more details and for sure if it is or not a good game. There's been a rumor also that Forza Motorsport supposedly is going to launch on October 10th. Again on I think published by this person here on the podcast. It kind of confirms another rumor earlier that they were aiming for October launch, but yeah, it's a rumor. It's interesting. I always liked racing games, at least the good ones. I kind of entertained I like very much the approach of the first Grid and the Grid Autosport and everything. I started doing a series on that, and then afterwards I had to stop because I changed countries, so no computer to continue to do that stuff. but I always liked the Gran Turismo kind of stuff. Never played any Forza, mainly because I never had an Xbox console to play it and try it. But they seem pretty interesting, the games, and I'm very curious, especially on Forza Horizon, the last one. I think it's a very accessible game regarding that. And tomorrow we'll have the Xbox showcase, so if the rumors are true, we'll have the information tomorrow. And of course there is also the thing with the Bethesda game, Starfield. Yeah. We'll have more information, and if the rumor is true, we'll know for sure. Now regarding like gaming deals, yesterday I saw the Tribeca Festival live stream, managed to catch up. The only game that caught my interest here is a Highland song. It's kind of exploration and story, telling a story a little bit on the Highland stuff, this area and the culture here. Seems to have like some rhythm games, but it has some kind of choose your path to a certain degree, and seems to have like, I don't know if it is survival elements, but it seems pretty interesting how they're going about it, mainly because of the story and the culture of that place or the Highlands. And I think basically the character here is trying to travel from their home to visit their uncle in the lighthouse near the sea, and she never saw the sea. She wants to see the sea and all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It's on my wish list, so I can check it out. It doesn't have a release date, but it seems pretty interesting from the showcase that I saw on this game. Seems pretty good. You have like fall damage and everything. It's got some interesting mechanics here. And deals. We have now Dying Light, the first game, 70% off, Definitive Edition 80% off, so $10. Is very good game, with all the DLCs and the content. Seems pretty good. We also this one is available till 23 of this month, and we also have the sequel. I managed to put this in highlight on like a few days ago, but it's still on offer till the 14th, so 4 more days. We got several variants or variations of the game at different prices. Seems pretty good. They are launching like a new thing here, a new season or whatever they are calling this. But yeah, it's always been supported throughout the years. So every game they launch on Dying Light, so it's always good to see that. Also, we have Cult of Lamp. It's on promo, 30% off. Seems pretty interesting, the game. Never played this game, never saw any gameplay, but seems pretty interesting how they're going about it, and the fact that it has overwhelming positive reviews. Seems a pretty good, decent game, and the fact that it is an independent game. I always like to support when the games are good. And lastly, we got Children of Morta. They're part of the 11-bit publisher sale. I didn't highlight this game specifically, I think. The last time I did the 11-bit publisher sale, like yesterday or 2 days ago. But yeah, it's seems a pretty good game. Roguelike, hack and slash, and has like co-op also. But it's more about the solo stuff that are more interesting here. 75% off or 90% off in the Grand Collection, but this has more 11-bit studio games. Yeah, but the complete edition is like $8. It's a good price for what it is, and I think it's got good mechanics here on how they're going about it, and perma upgrades here. But yeah, it seems pretty good. And I'm going to wrap up for today with my GoGetFundMe. You know the drill. Me to upgrade my PC to get better, more content for my private clients, and also start doing some video stuff for them. And of course, in my free spare time, doing the daily videos with the better quality, doing some deep dives with some scripted content, resume my gameplay series, and see if I can start doing some live streams after everything is set up. And with all that said, guys, I'll wish you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.